Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Strategic Command World War I, and this is the West Front First campaign, and we have a lot of action to do this episode. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I hope you would for all the great historical gaming videos that we do, and you can also hit that like button. That really helps out the channel. Okay, they've moved in a lot of horsey units right onto the front, which I don't know what that means. Whether they're doing badly, which is what I think it means, or they're doing well and thinking they're getting ready for some sort of advance. Do we try to pound that fortress this turn with 14 plus shells? I don't know that we do. I think we continue success and not failure. Should have that last time, maybe. We could use some, maybe even some German units there. Okay, we're going to think about that. Sometimes other fronts are just easier on the decision-making process. Wow, that just hurt me. It hurt me more than it hurt you. No attack in the fort now. So we're going to occupy with you. Very good. There we go. One entrenched corps. Goodbye. These guys, yes, entrench for now, because I don't think attacking them would be overly useful at the moment. Now, down here, can we reinforce? No. There'd be better supplies there. And fun and games with Lawrence down here. Well, I think this becomes the effective. Wow, they didn't even go down to that. The effective end of the British operations here in Kuwait. Yes, they still have the Zeppelin unit here and a little bit of a fort. Well, let's see what we can do. Nothing. Wow, that Zeppelin unit is super defensive. Okay, well, let's continue to sort this mess out here. Okay, cores. Not the type that you drink. Okay, you're worth moving over to. Well, before we do that, I think I can maybe fire it there from there. Let's swap that out. Okay, now we can see about moving this. Yes. Yeah. Rating 4, looking at, okay, he looks like, and he has more metals. Action points. So let's, what did it cost to move him? 36. Okay, not right at the moment. Is he not on rails, or did he already move? Oh, he may have attacked this turn. Okay, well, then that means you can march over there. We may start an Austrian offensive against the Italians. Wow. Instead of just our sort of passive aggressive attacks. Now, yeah, let's see, what does it cost to move you? 20. Okay, I guess we're going to do that. Get another bomber back here. Well, let's change our mind to move them to a little further to the rear. A little further to the rear. Now let's move you up. To here. We have fighters? I guess not yet. We need one there fast enough. Yes, 12 MPP. And we're going to move all the way down to, well, oh. Let's cancel that. Not sure. Do we? Oh yeah, we moved them this turn. We can put these guys on. Here it is, an assault. Maybe it's transport. Go after that. Let's think about how we want to use our Marines for a moment. Okay, the cores keep, well, yeah, keep marching somewhere. Keep on the rails if we wish to move you more rapidly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we need 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 detachments. We'll move you down here too. That's 9. So if we then keep 1, 2, well, okay, 9 and 10. Hope it didn't have to be Germans. Maybe it did. Well, you know, we're gonna swap out. We'll keep a couple of the cores, weakish ones, still sort of here. It's gonna take a while to move them. And keep a couple of the German core. Keep a couple of German cores in this area here within 8. Move up the German cores from the Balkans, and then that way we can move the Austrian. I mean, the German detachments from the Balkans. We move the Austrians down there, swap them out. Okay, well, let's see. Okay, that's not a port proper there. Whether it's like Lemnos, an invasion there, invasion against Rhodes, maybe. I'm trying to think with these guys here. Possibly even an invasion into Egypt, or Crete. Do we just presume that we're going to take Greece and one of them invade from Greece down to Crete, or yeah, let's. Oh, I don't know. I do not know. Okay, let's get some of our more wounded-ish ships still into port that we haven't. I don't know, like. Okay, nothing terribly badly beaten up. Okay, now we have to bring our subs home. I doubt he's still. Oh, he is still there. Okay, can't do much against them. I'm going to sort of sit here and wait because there very well may be enemy forces here, and we want to do it as sort of a coordinated effort coming through there. Okay, that looks like the naval movement this turn. Now let's look at. Oh, we have a core. Oh, that's right. We had a core lost for Germany. So replacing that will be a lot cheaper. So yes, we want to do that. And I think to a point, the reason and it's good that it's cheaper is that you never really get like 100% casualties unless I guess it's surrounded or something, and then that does happen. But whether they take account of that in the game or not, I don't know. So rebuilding. Okay, well now we can afford the artillery for Turkey. I keep forgetting how to. Is it here? Strategy map, declare war. Well, we're all do well. How to send German resources to Turkey. I know there's a way, and I know I've done it. And it's probably something very simple. Is it with diplomacy? Am I just missing this here? Entente, declare war. I know this probably looks foolish to you guys who play this a lot, but convoy map, that may be it. No, that didn't. Okay, supplies to Austria. Austria. Well, how do we send supplies to? Oh, maybe we're on Turkey. Let's get on Germany. Germany. Okay, we're on Germany now. That's Hungary's. Only Austria-Hungary supplying the Ottoman Empire. Germany can't directly. Huh? What? Trains can run across countries. In fact, I know they can. Okay, well, I guess. I guess this is how it has to be, so let's do. Okay, let's do 5%. 1% would be 60. 5% would be 30. I guess it's just. Oh, well, it's how many's coming in. Okay, well, I guess we'll do that. And come to here and we'll give Austria a bit more. Okay, well, okay. Don't entirely understand why Germany can't just give it directly. Maybe an engine limitation or something, but still. Fix it. There we go. Get them. I guess you can walk. Right, good. Now for our Western Front passive-aggressive offensives. Isn't even worth firing shells at it. Well, that probably was worth firing shells at. Over here. Yeah, that didn't go as well as we'd hoped, but hey. Let's get the fresh guys up on the front line. Down here. Yeah, they fired. Moved them too far away. These guys were meant for that assault. Yeah, okay, that worked. Where do I send the Marines? The German Marine. I'm just sort of hoping to not have to strategically redeploy them twice. Okay, down to this Turkish port, I think is what we'll do. There we go, down to here. For like a Rhodes or something sort of invasion. Disrupt the Italians even more. Did we move these guys? No, we didn't. Well, that Arab or Moroccan revolt is doing remarkably well. Remarkably well. Yeah, we could push there, but I'd rather do it as a more coordinated operation. No, we don't need to reinforce them. We have the points, so let's get our navy in somewhat good shape. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but you never know. It might be a really, truly useless thing for Germany. Well, no, it's... According to some historians, the Kaiser's naval race against the British Empire, because I think that's, they were primarily thinking they were going to worry about fighting, secondarily the French, but it was to try to get an overseas empire, and which very, very likely either meant because as it was being developed and built, in the late 19th century. And there were still places like Tanganyika, like Germans, Southwest Africa, or wherever they were still able to expand into, of course. So it wasn't an entirely filled up possible colonial world, but they felt that the British either take territory off the British, or the British were the most likely ones to oppose some of their conquest, I think. Though, of course, I look and see France as just as big a potential threat, because either pushing somewhere where there is French, like in Morocco or someplace like that, where there is French influence, you might just run up against the French, because the British might stay out of it. British definitely want to maintain balance, but they might see balance being a Franco-German colonial conflict clash. But I don't know. Now, where it does definitely, and so that simply being having a major fleet to potentially rival the British is cause enough for Britain to get involved with a war with you, and that can be a thing. Where I can definitely see Germany being very useful in having a navy is in the Baltic. Sweden was definitely having some sort of navies, and very much the German Kaiser is looking to have, I'm not the German Kaiser, the Russian Tsar, is looking to have a navy, and a Baltic presence is considerable there. Now, of course, I don't know what the shape of the Russian Navy was in 1914. Much of it had been sunk by the Japanese as they sent it out to Shima to, give it, let the Japanese have target practice on it. So yeah, if they had a bunch of stuff, it would be fairly new built. So it might have been fairly decent, or it might have just been remnants of stuff they didn't send. I just really don't know. I know you can see in the game what they sort of had, but I don't know much about what was left there then. So that can be a reason for Germany to have a navy, but how big of a navy, how strong of a navy? Definitely a modern navy, because why not? If you're going to have one, might as well have it better than just simply target practice for somebody else. But I don't know what we're looking at to do with our navy. Okay, well, I think I want to see what the Allies do with all of this. Yeah, we're not attacking there. We're just checking this out. Okay, so research. Let's look at research. Germany first, because both of them have a lot, but both Germany and Austria. Airship development, reasonably small. Let's see if we can do that. Up that a little bit. Yeah, we'll do that. And Austria's. Range attack weapons. Okay, I think well, let's just check. No, we're not going to do much with them this turn. Okay, let's see what the Entente does with this situation. Oh, I didn't really do much from the Baltic. Okay, capture of Salonika boost Austrian Hungary's national morale. Okay. Lord Kitchener dies when HMS Hampshire is sunk. Okay. He was a rather popular general. Okay, Austria-Hungary, we're sending food supplies. Ukraine, good. Brest-Litovsk, good. Oh, they're now moving in just detachments to face me there. And they moved in British units because we've been in Belgian unit down there. We've been battling them. A little too hard, I guess. But we'll kill some of the British units. See, again, this is partially my march to Paris. Try to build more fighters for Germany if we can. They don't like my detachment there, do they? That went well. That went all right, too. Oh, good, they're moving. Oh, they're trying to get around my defenses? Or just move up to there? Or they might take out another corps. No, doesn't look like it. They're getting panicky, that's why they're attacking me now? Or is it they're level 2 infantry and we're level 1, or however you want to say that? Well, I don't know. Okay. Yes. Former Chief of Staff Helmut von Moltke dies at 68. Victor Chapman becomes first U.S. pilot to die in the war. I didn't think the U.S. were in the war yet. And it didn't look like as being part of the Lafayette escadrille. But maybe that is meant what that's supposed to be. I don't know. Again, if you don't know, God, I know a lot of you guys know a lot of some even better than I do, World War I history particularly. But the Lafayette. But then I also know that there are people fairly fresh to all of this. So let's see there. The Lafayette escadrille was a U.S. volunteer squadron that supposedly did rather well operationally. Fighter squadron in French service, named after Lafayette, who comes over and helps Washington in the Revolutionary War. Okay, well, we're going to end the episode there. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I really do hope so. Like the videos, comment below. See you next time for more historical gaming.